Diane in Denmark here, and rah, rah, rah. It's the start of a new week. It's Monday, which means that we get to move on to a new Flylady Zone. Now, last week, if you remember, I was having a case of the blahs last week. Much better now. But we were in the bathroom. It was the third week of the month, so Zone 3, the bathroom, plus one other room. And this week, it's the fourth week of the month. That's the easiest way to look at it. We're moving into Flylady Zone 4. Now, as you can see behind me, and for those of you who have been with me for years, you've seen and heard it all before, but I know there are a lot of new people watching. This is the bedroom, our master bedroom, and if you have an ensuite bathroom, if you have a walk-in closet, this is also part of Zone 4. Now, in Europe, we don't have, generally speaking, we don't have big extra bathrooms and walk-in closets, so ours are fairly small. But the Flylady system applies to whether you've got a tiny, one of those little tiny cabins, or if you've got a huge house. You're just going to split it up the same way. But remember, the more stuff you have, or the bigger space you have, the more time you're going to need to maintain it. So that's why we try to keep the clutter to a minimum, because if you don't have much clutter, it's really fast to clean. Now, I'm going off into town this morning. I've got appointments. I'm dressed to shoes, ready to go. I've got my bag and the things that I need ready, my launch pad and my raincoat, because it's pouring with rain today. But you know, before I did Flylady, if I was going out, you know, within about half an hour, I'd think, well, I don't really have time to clean anything, so I'll just kind of, you know, go on the computer. And you know what that's like. Of course you have time to do something. I mean, 5 minutes doing a wee spot of decluttering or cleaning is better than nothing, and it all adds up. So anyway, we're in Zone 4. I'm going to do a wee spot of cleaning before I leave today. If I don't get it finished, it doesn't matter, because we're just doing a wee bit at a time. And I will be back this week with a decluttering video, because I want to do makeup and jewellery. Now that I have my Dressing Your Truth cards, it's been really easy to declutter things, because I know which colours work for me, and I can let go of all that stuff that was hanging on to, because, you know, it just wasn't sure. Anyway, onwards and upwards. If you made a control journal when you were doing the Flylady baby steps with me, remember the 31 days, you may have already printed out some detailed cleaning lists, and this is just a quick rundown again. You have your list, and you know, you can do one of the Flylady missions for the week, or just check something off the list. Remember, you're not checking everything off the list, but I find the list is really helpful, because we don't need to do all these tasks, you know, every week or even every month. But it's little reminders. I've written down things like, when we're in this zone, I put my slippers in the wash, my fluffy slippers. I'm thinking of getting some new bedding, because we hardly ever buy anything. I'm such a canny Scot. I'm thinking some new bedding for here, so that's on my radar for this week, probably from IKEA. And wash makeup brushes. I didn't actually wash my makeup brushes last week. And things like, you know, on my radar, I've got declutter, scarves, jewellery, handbags, shoes, you know, that kind of thing. So anyway, without further ado, I'm just going to take off my my jacket so I can kind of move. But I just, you know, when I'm doing my cleaning, I do my cleaning in the clothes that I'm wearing for the day. I don't put on anything fancy. If you want to put on an apron or change your clothes, that's fine. But remember to change back into normal clothes afterwards. And what else was I say? Oh yeah, and that's because I can clean in the clothes that I'm wearing for the day, because I'm not using any toxic products. And if you're doing Flylady consistently, you don't need the toxic stuff anymore. Hooray! Another good reason to shake your pom-poms. So I'm just going to do my usual thing. Those of you who have been with me for a while, you've heard and seen it all before, but start off with my fluffy Flylady duster that I've just put on a stick, and I'm going to do that first. I'm going to go around the room clockwise, and I'll start off with dusting the ceiling. Okay, so off we go. And as before, I'm not moving the camera all the time or doing fancy filming, but the idea is that you kind of work along with me. Ooh, oh, I just lost a feather there. There we are. Look at that. Maybe I'll be able to stick it in my hair. Put that over here just now. Right, oh, hold on. Let's cut the lights. It's suddenly gone quite dark. As I said, it's raining outside today. There we go. And there's not much in here. No cobwebs today. Not that I can spot any. At any rate. And the other thing that I like about having the feather duster on the stick is that I can actually go down and do the skirting boards, you know, the baseboards. If I'm in somewhere like the kitchen or the bathroom, then I need a wet cloth because, you know, it can get a bit steamy in those rooms. But in here, the dust just kind of sits on top of the skirting board. So I'm just going to use the same thing and go around once again and do the bottom part. And you can also get under the bed when you've got it on a stick, so it's an easy idea. Though I might need to put some new sellotape on this. I can see the tape is beginning to come off a bit. Right, here we are. I'm almost back at start. Okay, so that's the ceiling done and the skirting boards done. And I'll give this a shake outside when I'm done, and I'll add some more sticky tape to it. Right, pop that there just now so it doesn't fall down. And then the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to clean the windows in here. And I'm not getting a big bucket of soapy water, just some generic glass cleaner. This is an eco-friendly one. Maybe you use vinegar and water. You know, use whatever. I'm not telling you which products to use. I'm just showing that you can clean your house without having to spend all day on it. It doesn't need to get complicated. I'll tell you what, I'll just move you over so you can see me doing the windows. So just hold on a wee minute. Okay, we're ready for a quick scoosh scoosh. Scoosh scoosh, scoosh scoosh, scoosh scoosh, scoosh scoosh. There we go. Okay, that was one. And do you see how fast it is? If you're doing the Flylady cleaning consistently, it doesn't take any time at all. And I'm just getting up on my tiptoes, doing as high as I can. There we go, that's number 2. Number 3, and the last one. Okay, and then I'm going to come over and there's a window over here. I'll keep talking to you. Don't think I've gone off to have a cup of coffee. And remember, with these videos, I'm making them in real time, and the idea is that you work along with me. And if you want to do decluttering, if you're still at that stage, you know, perhaps you've got a chair in the corner that's kind of piled high with clothes. Start with that first, because that really makes the room look instantly cleaner and brighter if you just put, you know, fold those clothes and get them put away. Right, I'm just doing the window over here. That's one done. And number 2. Sorry, I'm up on my tiptoes, that's why I'm kind of standing out of breath. Right, and the other thing while I've got my glass cleaner out is I've got a mirror over there and a mirror on my little dressing table, so I'll do those as well. Scoosh, scoosh, and a wee scoosh over here, and that's me done with the glass cleaner. Should move you around a wee bit, around the outside, on the outside. and that's one cloth that's managed to do all the dusting. I'm just going to fold it over again. Right, so that's all my mirrors and windows, all the shiny bits done. And then the next thing I will do is I'm going to dust. So I'm kind of out of camera today, but whoops, it easy. Is that better? Now I'm just going to take a dusting mitt, and I'm not even going to use any product because I try not to use too much product, and I'm just going to do all the flat surfaces. And remember, if you have decluttered in here, it's really easy because you're not having to move lots of stuff. So as usual, I'm going to go around clockwise. I'll tell you what, I shall move you back over here. There we go. Right, okay, so I'm doing the windowsills. Put them down. I can roll down the blinds. There we go. Okay, and then I'm going over to do the bed. Kind of bed side stands. And maybe you want to use some wood polish or spray, but as I say, if you're doing this regularly, it really doesn't take much time. The only thing that I really have on beside the bed is I keep a little dish with my jewellery, what I'll be wearing tomorrow. So that's the only thing I have there. I'm just wiping down the lamps as well. Lamps. Tell you what, while I'm moving away is I've got my hair, you know, my curling tong things, and I keep those in a basket along with my hair dryer and my hair stuff. Then it's easy to kind of move around. Right, that's that. Where did I get to? Yeah, that's why I like to go clockwise because I kind of forget where I am, you know, get a bit distracted. Right, top of the mirror. Then I'll do the little dressing table. And I've got this little stand where I keep some of my perfumes, so I'll give that a little shine. There we go. Put that back. And I must tell you that last week, I think part of the reason I had a case of the Blaz is that I know, oh hold on, so that was me finished my dusting. One of the reasons I think I had the Blaz last week is that we're moving into autumn here in Denmark. I can feel it in the air. Autumn officially starts for us on the 1st of September, and it's been like today, it's rainy and kind of dull, and I could feel that winter coming, that kind of autumn thing coming on, and autumn is my least favourite season. But on the other hand, it's time for a change, you know, and each season has its charms, as I've said before. And last night I took out candle holders and I lit my candles before I went to bed. You know, when I went to bed and I had clean sheets on, I changed them yesterday as part of weekly home blessing hour. And it was just, you know, we've got to embrace these changes, and these are really pretty candle holders that I bought on Sunday. You know, I don't often buy things, but I saw them and I thought, okay, I'm going to do something nice for myself, and I got them really cheap, but they're very pretty, and I had them last night. So let's embrace the changes that are coming up, you know, going into new seasons. Right, okay. And this feather can go in the bin. Don't worry, I was just joking, I'm not going to stick it in my hair. Right, okay. What time are we up to? Oh, 14 minutes. Oh, okay. Oh, and you know what? Actually, forgot to do the last windowsill, so let me get that done. Yay! Okay, blinds down. Right, okay. Listen, I'm going to get get going because as I said, I'm going out to appointments. The rest of the week in here, I don't make videos with all the things that I do in here because I just use the minutes as I get them. You know, if I have a couple of minutes when I am, you know, putting away my clothes at night, maybe I'll look in my sock drawer and see if there's anything that can, you know, I can let go of. The main thing that I will do in here, probably before I make dinner tonight, is give this place a really good hoover, a really good vacuum, and that will take, I don't know, about 7 or 8 minutes, no more than that, and basically that is me done for the cleaning. So if you're consistent with your cleaning, it doesn't take a long time. I mean, I can, as you've seen, I can clean the room in basically 10 to 15 minutes. And I can tell you what's underneath the bed. Hold on, let me just check. Yeah, as I thought, there are 2 things underneath my bed. There are my fluffy slippers, which I will put in the wash. Remember, if you've got cardboard in your slippers, you don't want to do that. And the other thing are my indoor elasticated sandals, the ones that I'm wearing if it's really hot. If you, maybe you know, if you're a new viewer and I wondered why I was wearing shoes in here, I keep a pair of old gym shoes. These are really good, comfy Nike ones. And I put them through the washing machine and I keep them, I only wear them indoors, and that I need a bit of arch support for my feet, and when I'm dressed to shoes, and really dressed to shoes, right down to my feet, I get an awful lot more done. You know, if you're padding around in no shoes, bare feet, or flip-flops, and you're not getting much done, you might want to consider the shoes things. And remember, we're not talking about big, clumpy, hobnailed boots. We're just talking about a wee pair of shoes, like gym shoes, that put that spring back in your step. You know, you really need, you'll feel the change. And you don't need to wear them all the time, but just wear them when you're going through your routines and doing your decluttering or your cleaning. So anyway, I'm just going to wash my hands, get my jacket on, put away my little cleaning caddy. That's going to go into the guest bedroom and wait until I do something else in this room. And I shall be checking with you very soon. Okay, that's for me. So it's Diane in Denmark saying, live long and prosper. May the Danish hooker be with you. And I'll see you soon. Okay, bye.